welcome to Chris's Granite Paradise. For those of you who are new, I'm not in Chris's Granite Paradise right now. I am in San Diego, and today we're visiting yet another fascinating beach. All along this coast, it seems like every beach is different. Today we're visiting Torrey Pines Beach. Like many of the beaches up and down the coast here, it is a state beach, or maybe it's considered a state park. And so rock collecting is, from what I researched, against the law. So we won't be taking anything home, but we will be seeing lots of cool stuff. This is another of my digital rock hunting trips, if we can say it that way. As I said earlier, every single beach seems to be completely different. I've visited quite a few over the years with Grant, and many of them I have not recorded, but they're all different. On the channel here, we visited Tourmaline Beach and Scripps Beach. And again, today we will be at Torrey Pines Beach. And we will conclude this video with a very brief look at South Ponto Beach. Hello, my name is Chris, and I'm a rockaholic. Before we jump in and start looking at the cliff and at the rocks and the fossils and things that we will be seeing, I wanted to present some general geologic information about the cliff we are seeing here. It's basically a sequence of geologic formations. Again, the information is encapsulated in the slide for you, to give you some rabbit holes to pursue if you so desire. But basically, the rock is about 1 million years old or so up at the top, all the way down to about 50 million or more at the bottom of these cliffs. And it's a very unique strata in between. And we will be looking at especially some of the fossils. There's a couple of fossiliferous layers, a lot of shells and things of that nature. And we'll also be seeing some sandstones that are very loosely consolidated, which you may notice is mentioned in the slide. At the base of the cliff, there is a plethora of large boulders and smaller specimens. And it's interesting to look up at the cliff and look at the rocks and try to figure out where they fell down from. I want to show you guys this black sand, black and pink actually. There's a little bit of a hue of the garnet sand here. But so when these violent storms come in, of course they wash away the lighter materials and the waves crash all the way up here, and of course the heaviest stuff drops right away. Then the wave goes out. So you can see how concentrated. This hasn't been disturbed very much yet. I guess there's footprints going through it here. But you can kind of see the patterns on the ground. And it's just probably 80% iron, magnetite. Yeah, really. It's really therapeutic as far as being tactile. It's just super smooth, and the weightiness of it. I'm surprised you don't see these sun tanning salons with bathtubs full of this sand that you could lay in, because it's super soft because of how heavy it is, and being metallic, it really holds a lot of heat. Yeah, really nice. I'm hoping in the video you can see the sparkles. So I'm going to take a handful of this out to the regular sand. So here, just a few feet away, watch when I drop this on here. Look at the difference. So totally different sand mix, just within a few feet. Here's a little information for you, again, to give you some rabbit holes concerning how this sand forms, where it comes from, how it separates, and so forth. Boy, here it's even blacker. Oh, that's so heavy. I'm not sure why it clumps up, but if you get under where it's clumped, look at this down here. Oh, that's just pure. All right, I better catch up to my friend. Oh, he's doing it. He found his boulder.
too big.
This is my size rock.
Yeah.
Look at all those shells.
Here's one right up here.
That is cool. I'm gonna go fill my water bottle. I'll be right back. So these cliffs, I guess, are pretty well known for, oh, what's the bird I want to say? Falcons of some kind make their nests up there. But I'm going to try to get some water without getting soaked here. I was smart enough to bring my water bottle, but I was not smart enough to bring it with water in it. Not sure what's going on, guys. Here we go. I'll try this. That's not going to work. I never would have imagined that getting water out of the ocean could be so difficult. At least if one does not want to get wet. Can he do it? Can he do it? I'm not there we go. I got soaked. All right, that's enough. That's what it takes to get some water. Here's some really cool fossil shells. Oh, maybe oysters of some kind? There's a whole bunch of this at the base of this cliff. I want to find a big one to throw some water on now that I got myself soaked. Oh, yeah.
Bigger shell.
Oh, cool. I've got some water if we want to pour some. Oh, here's pink.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of pink in that sand. Do you see any snail shells, or are they all clams?
They're all clams, I believe.
Yeah, there's some big shells in here. I was telling Grant on our way over here that every single beach in San Diego seems to be completely different from every other beach. Different rock exposures, different gravel coming out of different conglomerates, and oh, that's a concretion, I bet. That's cool. Totally different than all the other rocks. See, now we're back into just sandstone. Now that is cool. Cross bedding. See, so this rock, it's a rock, but it's just really hard packed sand. I could rub it off. Well, now it's getting harder. Well, that's pretty though. You see the cross bedding in there?
Gotta look at this, Chris.
What? Whoa, what would that be?
I think they might be tube worm.
Oh, really? Yeah, that is cool. On the side of the rock, you can see little layers of shells and stuff. That's just old seabed. Yeah, that's a cool one. Probably critter trails in the mud. All right, here's some more. There's some more fossil critter trails. Let's just call them critter trails.
There's some tar on the rocks from an oil spill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, see? This is tar.
Oh, yeah. So when the waves came in, they had some... When was the oil spill recently?
Oh, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
That's a nice fossil rock. Did you look at that?
Yeah.
And it's rounded. It's been rounded.
Next to it is even better.
Which, this one here?
Yeah.
So why would the shells be black? I want to get some water on this. This one's been smoothed by the water. It's really cool. Basically a big old beach cobble. Oh. So this is the tar. When there's an oil spill, of course, it floats in on the waves. Boy, those are nice shells, though. That would be cool in UV light. Yeah, this would be a nice one to... a little too big to move with one hand. But look at these. Hope you guys can see all the variety of shells in here. It's been wave polished a little bit. Oh. Water's precious. It came at a high price. Yeah, we won't be able to take this home, but that would look great on a sculpture. Although I would imagine the frost would destroy it. These are pretty soft rocks. Nice one. Oh, look at that.
First, come here. Look at the different colors up there. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see.
Now this rock came down from there.
Oh, sweet.
You can see the layers of the colored rock in there.
Yes. Is that garnet? You think that's garnet sand? Or just iron?
I don't know.
It's very soft.
Yeah.
I could rub it off with my hand, but look how colorful that is. Yeah, that's a nice one, isn't it?
If you look up there,
That's where
you can see the gray layer up there. It's a grayish, greenish layer. That has all the shells in it.
probably that. Yeah, I see the green. That's where the shells are coming from. And then this, with the pink, probably came from that big section up above.
Yeah, pretty much above it.
And it's not really rock. It's very soft. If you were to take your rock hammer and pick on this, it would sink right in, I bet. Which we probably don't want to do too much of, but so I'm going to dump out my sacred water that I paid such a high price to get. Last time we were here, there was
another one of those.
Yeah, I look at the shells on the side.
Yeah.
I just dumped out some of my
Here, let
secret.
me-
Oh, I lost my top.
Oh no.
The sacred water. Yeah, that rock's pretty green. There was a bright red sandstone last time we came. I'm hoping we find it. More beautiful black sand, but look at this. How's that for some color, guys? And it's soft. But look at the strata. Let's see, if I rub this with my hand, I can erode it. That's how soft it is. So these are very barely consolidated sandstones, but so colorful. We're looking at it dry. Of course, I already emptied my water bottle. But it's beautiful stuff. That's a big chunk. That's probably coming from somewhere up there. Here's a big chunk of the greenish colored sediment that has the layers of the shells interspersed. Very cool. The shells are mostly clams and oysters, but again, the sediment is very soft, and we don't want to die, so we're gonna get going here. Grant just pointed out, so we've been seeing the gravel on the beach here, and it's not very fascinating gravel, although now we know where they're coming from. Again, this whole cliff is a very loosely consolidated sediment, and here's where the rocks appear to be eroding from. So that's cool to know, and they're almost exclusively basalt. But in contrast to Scripps Beach, where the basalts were red, these are predominantly black and very dark colors, although there are a few lighter clasts. There's one more beach I want to take you guys to, even if just for a minute at the end of this video. But first, let's just enjoy the end of this beautiful day here at Torrey Pines Beach. The following day, Grant and I checked out a few more beaches on the way between his house and where I've been staying. And we stopped at a few, including this one, where there weren't really any interesting cliffs or rocks to look at, but it was definitely a beautiful beach. And this is a place we will definitely have to come back to because we were about out of time by the time we got there. And this is South Ponto Beach in Carlsbad, which is just north of San Diego. This is our idea of a beach, guys. No people and miles of rocks. Piles and miles of rocks. So how does this form? How do you end up with a pile like this?
I thought that might be serpentine, but it's not soft.
I asked AI to generate a fairly comprehensive description of this berm, its history, its origin, and rock types. You can pause the video and check this out at your leisure. This is really cool. It's just a massive berm of rocks. But lots of cool rocks. We'll take these down to the water here in a bit. Oh, look at that one.
Look at it. Quick before it dries.
Oh, really purple. There we go. Now I got it focused. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a little pile here. I don't have a spray bottle. So we're going to go over to the water and get them wet. Let's see what these look like. Oh, very cool. Really nice stuff. They dry pretty fast because it's kind of warm today. Basalt with some clasts in it. Almost everything is volcanic. Well, I'm wet again. That's colorful. Wouldn't mind finding his bigger brother. We'll find a few, then we'll go back over to the water. Contrary to the research shown earlier, to me most of these rocks, at least at first glance, appear to be either rhyolitic or in some cases basalt. But we think to me it looks about 80% rhyolites, which is fascinating. This is likely due to localized natural sorting processes. Yeah, I would love to come to this beach on a rainy day. Grant has a treasure. I'm thinking it's a rhyolite also. Yeah, because it doesn't have any light going into it. I have already made plans for our next video, which will be specifically to this beach. I will be getting a spray bottle and coming with a lot more time. All right, back to the water we go. I should dig a little hole. There we go. Just enough to rinse my rocks. Just these 10 or 15 minutes that Grant and I spent here were enough to make me really want to come back. The mix of rocks is fascinating. I would imagine that there are likely also agates and thunder eggs and things of that nature, although those might be picked up. But what's good about my type of rock hounding is there aren't too many people who look at rhyolites and basalts with such fascination. So to me, it's an untapped treasure trove that I really want to spend some time researching for you guys. And as always, thank you so much for coming along. It's an honor to share these things with you.